So last week at the end of the podcast, we were discussing what we wanted to do for this week, and we were realizing in the next few weeks, it was St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
And we said, you know what, we should do something at least to tie into that, for, who knows, just at least tie into something for the first time in our lives here about beverages. And so we came up with a few different things, and this is the one, hopefully will be successful. We have a very unique edition of a classic Irish whiskey for this Give It a Shot. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Keith. And we are AboutBeverages.com. And the beverage that we're about today is the Jameson Irish Whiskey Caskmates Edition, aged in stout beer barrels from 8 Degrees Brewing.
Yeah, this is, we did a little bit of research right before we started podcasting. If you were watching the live show, you got to see all that live.
That's right.
It's like I said,
riveting television.
Riveting television. If you're only watching this podcast right now, then you just get the straight facts, which is 8 Degrees. They were purchased at some point by Jameson due to, like I said, they were working together on these Caskmates that was going very well. So now they are part of all of that.
The parent company that owns Jameson is called like Irish Distillers.
There you go. Yeah.
And now 8 Degrees Brewing is a part of that family as well.
Yeah. So the way this works, and we have done previously one of these Caskmates editions, we did the IPA version, which if you go in the archives at AboutBeverages.com or just search here on YouTube for that, you will find that podcast. Jameson ages their whiskey like they normally would. This is the classic Jameson Irish whiskey. They age it. Those barrels then go off to the brewery. That brewery then has a beer. At that time, it was an IPA. This time, it's actually a stout. They age that stout in these barrels. When they are done with it, they send those used stout barrels back to Jameson. Jameson takes their original recipe Irish whiskey, puts it back in the barrel, and it gets aged again.
It's so confusing.
I know, it is a little bit confusing.
I'm glad somebody else is in charge of that.
Hopefully, it's not quite as confusing on our palate. So that's what we're...
No.
Give
us a little something to think about, but that'll be good.
I got this last week. It was around $25 for the bottle. That's what it seems like all of these go for. They have several other editions besides the IPA and the stout. They also have a cold brew one, which I believe uses obviously coffee. And I think there was another one. I cannot remember the name of it. If you remember or have had any of these in the comments below, definitely let us know what you think or if you are interested in these. One of the first things I was wondering is, was there going to be a huge color difference?
I don't recall right off the top of my head what regular Jameson looks like, but I think it's a little darker.
I would actually, I have some regular Jameson in my bar. Okay. And it is a little bit definitely regular Jameson's a little bit more golden.
Because this is actually, from the pour, you could actually confuse this for a bourbon, a lighter colored bourbon, because it does have a little bit of the red, a little bit of the orange note to that, as opposed to that lighter, which, like I said, I think the classic Jameson is lighter. Like you're confirming that because you have some. So definitely, you just opened it, so you definitely get a little bit of that concentrated alcohol heat.
Yeah, I would agree. Aroma. Especially at 80 proof, I was a little surprised, but yeah, it's more because I did just open it.
There is actually to me a hint of smoke and a little bit of sweet vanilla. I don't necessarily.
There's nothing that screams like stout to me per se.
No,
but I think this and maybe it's because you put it in my head. It's hitting more of those like kind of the high Irish whiskey, like a little bit of fruit that you always, to me, I always get out of the ones that I have had. But then there is a lot of like thoughts of bourbon in there. Like you're talking about the vanilla, like I said, that little bit of maybe a little hint of smoke. I'm getting even a little bit of that kind of like burnt sweet in there, like burnt caramel, burnt make me think of just like, oh, this smells like a really good, like into that some sort of bourbon blend or something like that. Or maybe if I didn't know, I was like, oh, is this a bourbon that was finished in some sort of port barrel or something like that was adding that other kind of fruit note. But it smells very good.
Yeah, I like it. And it became bourbon. It is very, it's a lot, it's sweeter to me.
Yeah.
There's a sweetness to it that's not bourbon sweetness, but it does actually have some bourbony qualities to it. I wouldn't necessarily pick up on beer, but maybe there's something like some residual from the malt or something like that has added that sweetness to it. And a little bit, it's got actually a little bit of body to it as well, I think.
Yeah, it has a little more viscosity than I thought
Yeah.
it would. There's a bit there. It's not overly heavy, but yes, there's more than I thought.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of what I got in the nose. I'm kind of missing some of the smoke, but I'm getting more of the sweetness. That little bit of fruit is still there. I'm still getting like that burnt caramel kind of note. I'm really liking it, actually. I got a little spice on the front of my tongue as well.
Yeah. It's not super hot on the taste now.
No, not at all.
There's a little bit of warmth, but
it just made me think I would like it if more places would do things like this. If it not like if here, like I said, for bourbon and whiskey here in the U.S., try something unique like this. Everyone's always doing port finishings, all these different things. It'd be interesting getting more barrels back from other breweries and doing this kind of thing. You always usually get the reverse, which we when we were out
just
at
had one
bottle recently, we went and Dragoon did like I said, a local Southern Arizona brewery, Dragoon. They did one of their Nueve anniversary stouts. They aged it in a Buffalo Trace barrel and then brought it. And it's just amazing the different flavor complexity you get that way.
Right.
So the thing I don't know when I drink this, I don't know what the original stout tasted like. So I don't know how much I'm getting. I can actually get back out of that.
Right.
So my thought process is, if someone like, off the top of my head, like a Stone or something like that, how if they make one of their Russian Imperial stouts that's very over the top, very robust, had that aged in something like that, and then brought back to some sort of bourbon barrel, and you did a finishing in that, maybe that would bring out a lot of character, or at least a little bit more. And I think that would be very unique and interesting. I would love it if someone tried that. And if there is a bourbon or whiskey out there that's been done, leave a comment below. Like,
let us know.
We only can see what we have locally, but let us know if there's someone else that's done that reverse process here in the U.S. And had some success with it. I would love to try one of those.
You think
but
there
this
has
is really
to
good.
be, but maybe not.
You would think. The only thing probably, actually, you know what? As I state all that, how does that work? You're only supposed to use, especially if it's the original whiskey barrel, they're only allowed to use them once here in the U.S. and then they have to, that's why then they go over there. That's maybe why that they do port fin because they can use other barrels but not the original. So maybe there'd be some way they could still work that out. Like if if a stout was finished in a port barrel, they could pull that barrel back and get a little bit of both of those things. I don't know. Like I said, again, at least I'm glad I realized that. I was like, that's probably why it hasn't been done as easily directly. But I would love to try something like that. But I still liked it. I think this is really good.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that. I have not had a lot of experience with Irish whiskey, so more things you can leave in the comments. Recommend an Irish whiskey that is not from Jameson, because that is the majority of things that I've had is either from them or some of the more popular brands. So would love to hear about more of those. And if you're not watching this on YouTube and you happen to be at our website at AboutBeverages.com, you can always leave a comment there. You can always email us at the email address below. Let us know what you're having, things that we should be trying. We're more than happy to get in on that discussion and bring those to the tasting table. If you only want the latest content, the latest videos, subscribe on YouTube. We would greatly appreciate that. That is where you can find everything and anything that we've had probably in the last 6 or 7 years, something like that. I forget where we stopped from just doing podcasting to switch to videos. But anyway, it is all up on YouTube. Go check it out there. We've got a few different playlists of not only our live shows, but some other whiskey videos and things as well for you to enjoy. Only want audio?
We got you covered there too.
Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, iTunes Podcast, iPodcast. Did they call it something? I think they just call it podcast. All of those things you can search for us there, or any podcast network that you enjoy. Search for About Beverages. That's got to be everything. We can't be anywhere else.
Oh, no. We are in the 3 pillars of social media.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, being Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, which is the one we use most often. We'll let you know we're about to go live on twitch.tv/AboutBeverages most Thursday nights. You can come on and join us and watch as we record. We talk about all kinds of different things during those live stream sessions, but we do record our podcasts during that, and then we talk music, we talk games, we talk all kinds of stuff. And speaking of games, this guy's going to let you know what he's going to be doing throughout the week and when he'll be doing it on Twitter.
But as we always say, whether we like it or not,
you should give it a shot.